You are now entering the horror sanctum.
Hello and welcome back to the Horror Sanctum podcast. I'm Jay with Kellen and TJ. And this week we're chatting about one of the most talked about films of the year so far, Oz Perkins' Final Destination 9. I mean, The Monkey, based off the 1980 Stephen King short story of the same name. When twin brothers find a mysterious wind-up monkey, a series of outrageous deaths tear their family apart. 25 years later, the monkey begins a new killing spree, forcing the estranged siblings to confront the cursed toy. And this just came out, so obviously there will be some spoilers.
Absolutely. Spoilers abound. Cover your virgin ears if you haven't seen this film and go watch this film and then come back. Uh, so, first off, I was super confused initially going into this movie because I didn't watch a whole lot. I just watched like teaser trailer. I'm getting to where I don't like watching full trailers because it spoils all the good stuff now. So I've tried to watch the least amount of this. And what I initially thought this movie was a remake of another Stephen King short film inspired. George Romero did a film in the 80s called Monkey Shines. And I thought this was like a remake of that, which I like that movie. So I was like, okay, I'm down with this. But the monkey looks different. I don't. It's a similar monkey, well, it's not a real monkey. But I thought maybe there, in the marketing, there's like a toy monkey on the cover and all that stuff, and they tie that in somehow. So I was totally confused. And this from everything I've seen in print and stuff and the marketing for this film, they play it like a straight horror thriller, like this is going to be like a great Stephen King adaptation. It's going to be scary. It's totally not that at all, right? It is like you said, Jay. It is basically a new weirdo take on Final Destination, but with this cursed monkey, kind of like the old Amicus curio shop of horrors. Everything in the curio shop is cursed, right? So it's like a monkey's paw, basically. It's monkey's paw, just with a monkey toy instead of a monkey paw. And actor Theo James, I believe his name is, the lead actor, plays two twin brothers. One of them's a little kooky, crazy, kind of an asshole, and the other one's just traumatized all his life because this monkey just starts beating his drum, and every time you beat that drum, somebody you love dies, and it's not usually the one you want to die, and it's never the person who uses the monkey, which is uh, a good plot device that is used. There's a lot of fun gore elements in this film. A lot of cool deaths I hadn't seen before. The guy that everybody loves to hate on that played Corey and the last Halloween Ends, is in here. He gets a really nice comeuppance. He must have been uh, heavily influenced by the Ramones because it looks like he's cosplaying as Joey Ramone with like some of the worst long black bangs. He's like that Looney Tunes dog that you can't see his eyes because he was getting
Right,
in his
yeah.
eyes. It becomes a bit after a while. Like everything he does, he has to move his hair out of his eyes. But he was fun. I mean, this movie has got a wild tone because it's never quite straight horror comedy, but it's like a dark comedy, I would say. Um, it's not what I would consider. It's not like Evil Dead 2. It's not like Onyx the Fortuitous. It's not. It doesn't play necessarily straight comedy. It plays all the situations straight, and the situations just become darkly humorous, especially like towards the ending. There's one joke that they really pay off at the end, and I was like, bravo, bravo. That was a throwaway thing where the kid of the good brother dad who's trying to save him and keep him away from his cursed existence and not die, but he ends up having to be with him for another week while he's going to his childhood home to uh, try and find this monkey that's killing everybody again. And lost my train of thought. What was I saying?
Something about a joke that paid off at the end with the
Yes,
The
son.
bowling ball. Just say
Yes.
the bowling ball.
Well, the bowling ball is great. The bowling ball, but I was actually thinking about the kid picks up a brochure about skydiving, and they say we do weddings, and then at the end, a plane crashes, and then through the ceiling, you got this married couple that are like hanging by their parachutes, and you see the bouquet fall down. I'm like, chef's kiss, chef's kiss. That's a great payoff at the end. So basically, this movie could be called Everybody Dies, and it's all the monkey's fault. And that's pretty much it. It's fun. It took me probably 30 minutes to get into the tone of the film, though, um, because it's like it's trying to find out what gear it wants to be in. But then once it really goes hard into the dark comedy, and you know, okay, this is kind of darkly humorous, and it's for the wild, outlandish kills, and just to one up how we're going to set up these kills again, and kind of tease it for you. Can you figure out how we're going to kill this next person? That then it becomes fun. Then it becomes like what people go to see Final Destination for. But it also has this weird ass character that's like wearing his suit from when he was 12 years old. That's like six sizes too small, and he's like this evil genius, but he's not very bright. I mean, there's some interesting elements to this film that you don't really see in a lot of films, and bravo to Theo James for playing that dual role very well, I think. I had seen him in the Divergent film series, which I didn't love that much, but I really loved him as Aubrey Plaza's uh,
No,
husband.
you can't say you. I fucking hated him in the White Lotus.
I love that he was such a douchebag.
Oh my god, he was the
I-
biggest douchebag.
I
on
mean,
the
he
planet.
was. I hated him, but I loved his acting in that because that was his role,
That's
right?
fair, but fuck him. Fuck you, Theo James. I know
But
you're
I
listening.
mean, to be able to do that and then to be able to do this dual role, I mean, he's the dude's got some chops, you know.
Well,
I what?
wait for Mickey 17.
Oh
Robbie
yeah.
P is going to take him
Oh, he's in that one
back.
too. Okay. I'm,
No, I'm
I'm
saying Robbie P is playing like 17, 18 different
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
characters.
Yeah. No. Well, you can't compare Robert Pattinson to
Anyone.
Theo James yet. I reserve the right to be wrong later. But yeah, man, I love this film. It's not like a 4-star movie, to spoiler alert, but it's really good movie. It's rewatchable. I'll probably buy it when it comes out on Blu-ray. It's a fun watch. It would be a fun group hang. Let's just make fun of this crazy ass movie kind of movie, right? What do you think about it, Kellen? Let's rip that
You
band-aid off.
would love this movie, idiot. God, I'm kidding. No, this movie's fantastic. I loved it so much. I was laughing my ass off in the theater. I went and took my daughter to see it because she wanted to see it. My oldest, she just started her first job. She's working in a position that you and Jay would be most familiar with
Walmart.
at Walmart. Her
Ugh.
first real job. She has
The
her
Dark
blue vest
Lord.
and her name tag. But she wanted to see this movie the weekend that I think it was the weekend that it came out. And I was like, well, you're driving, you're halfway to the theater already. Why don't we just meet you there? And then we saw the movie. Of course, spoilers, father and daughter, not so friendly at certain parts of this movie. There is some adult themes. Obviously, it is an R-rated film beyond just the gore and the violence, which is so over the top in the best way possible. It was
It's
like
not as bad as when I watched Midsommar with my daughter, though.
oh no, that'd be horrible. Talking about how she went to some kind of church thing Wednesday, so that'll show you where her mindset's at. When she watched Heretic, she said that was one of her favorite movies of all time, but refused to watch the first 10 minutes with me because they do talk about penises in there. So fair enough. Anyway, all that aside from a couple of uncomfortable spots to watch with your child, this movie's fantastic. The only knock I'll give it, and this is just to get it out of the way so I can really talk about the film, is Theo James playing the good brother is a little understated for me. I feel like he could have been a little bigger, and I think where they screwed him over is having Adam Scott open the film and being so big. Like Adam Scott can be. And then you go to Theo James, and Theo James is playing it very restrained, like he's almost trying not to act. If that makes sense, if you watch the movie and you agree with me, leave a comment below. But I absolutely enjoyed this, and this is right up my alley of films. I love absurd. I love over the top. I love when movies don't take themselves too seriously when they're not serious films. Know what kind of movie you are and play to it. Don't try to be a little bit of everything for everybody. Just dive head deep into the deep end of being a horror comedy if that's what you're trying to be. And that's what this movie does. The kills are over the top. The bowling ball one, like TJ said, the best kill in the whole movie, the bus full of cheerleaders, or whatever they are at the very end. That was very reminiscent of Ghost Ship, the beginning of that movie. They just killed a bunch of people all at once.
It was just missing some Mudvayne.
Because you can't throw my anger. No. The thing about this movie that I think works so well is what's coming every time. There's no we're trying to throw a curveball. The only real curveball, like TJ said, is the other brother still wearing his suit from his mom's funeral, and being the most absurd, weird person ever. But when that monkey starts playing the drums, someone's about to die. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no question about what's going to happen. There's no, no, it's happening. You just don't know who or what. And it devolves into absolute madness. And I think that's what's so charming about this, is that this movie doesn't try to be obscure. They're letting you know everybody's dying. They're going to kill as many people as possible. There's a scene towards the end where they kind of just start talking about all the people that have died in this town because the brother keeps turning the key, to the point that literally it shows this almost post-apocalyptic hellscape as the father and son are driving off into the distance, where you see smoke in the background and you hear sirens and you see the bus full of dead kids, and you just, everything is falling apart, and they're just acting like it's a normal Wednesday. Like, okay, well, this is life now, thanks to this monkey. Sarah Levy is in it. I think she is absolutely adorable. I love her so much. She was great in Schitt's Creek, one of the greatest TV shows of all time. She's fantastic in this as like the 1970s looking aunt that takes them in. Her death is perfect for her. The comical over the top, from getting her head caught on fire and running outside into her mailbox, the fish hooks when she falls through the stairs in her face, like every part of that was just so comical and over the top, and was beautifully done. Elijah Wood's character in this movie is just insane for the brief time that he's in. The same thing with Adam Scott. He's in it for a short period, but he sets the tone of the movie. It's just a fun ride. Like TJ said, this is just a fun movie. This is a movie that you could sit and watch with your friends and just enjoy the absurdity of it. Yeah, I don't know what else to really say about this.
Now we can really get down to things. TJ has left the building. We're taking
TJ
the fuck over.
TJ has dipped out. It's Weirdos 2.0. No. But I absolutely, and I will say this, Jay, 100% give you your flowers for letting me know what this movie was ahead of time, because I don't think if I didn't know that it was more of a horror comedy going in, I think I would have been confused for the first half and wouldn't have been able to sit and enjoy it. But you saw it before the rest of us, and you were kind of pointing at it was the comedic elements in it. So I went in knowing that, okay, there's going to be some fun had in this movie, and I think that helped.
But it hurt on Abigail. It hurt.
Well, Abigail hurt because
right here it hurt.
The cop's voice was so terrible. He shouldn't have gone with that accent. The comedy that was in it felt misplaced. I will not go down it gets its one, it keeps its one, it's staying at a one. I'll not go down that Abigail rabbit hole again.
Stop asking.
But this one, it plays like a comedy where people die. I guess is a better way to put it. This is more like a comedic movie where people are getting absolutely mutilated. And one of my favorite, and it's probably the only quote unquote jump scare in the whole movie. And then I'll pass it on to you, Jay. Is the real estate agent? She's going through the house. She's starting to like kind of hit on him a little bit, and then he realizes what's about to happen. And as soon as she opens the door, she's just a mist, and you just see the look on his face where he like knew it was coming and wasn't even so much as shocked as he was like, oh my god, I'm wearing the real estate agent. It wasn't like he just handled it like this was not the first time somebody had been absolutely obliterated in front of him. So yeah, this movie is a whole lot of fun. The score that it's got on Rotten Tomato, I think, was like 79 critic score and 59 on the popcorn meter from fans, which I think is absolutely absurd. This is a fun movie. This is a movie that I absolutely could see them doing a sequel to if there had been more material, or they could just do one anyway at Stephen King's behest. Just tell them to run with it. But yeah, I absolutely love this. It was very much reminiscent of Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events, which if you watch that on Netflix, great series. Totally suggest watching that with your kids. Maybe a little more closer to 10, 12-year-olds instead of 5 and 6, because they do deal with death in that as well. But it reminded me of like that on steroids. So yeah, just a real fun movie.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm just like, I feel like I knew this was a horror comedy from the jump. And it was almost like I was the only one who knew that. Even with you guys, and like, I don't know why it just always played that way. So I knew going in it was going to be funny to a degree, with people dying and everything. But I hope they would. I would love for them to make a sequel because it'd be fun. They could do like I said, like I introduced it as the next Final Destination movie. It's very similar in that because the kills don't come just like, oh, someone got ran over while running across a road or a street. It's like death coming back from Final Destination. So like, okay, a string broke over there because a mouse bit into it. It's going to trigger this, which will trigger that, blah, blah, blah. So I knew that going in. But I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I knew I would. Like we talked about the popcorn bucket. Like if I was able to, I would have bought that popcorn bucket, but they didn't have one when I went. So the kills were over the top. And I know Osgood Perkins, who just is amazing. Long Legs, Black Coat's daughter, others. He is quickly becoming one of my favorite directors. And he's so fun. Like I'm not a big interview guy. Like it's just not me, even though, hey, look at us doing this podcast where we do sometimes interview people. But I'm just not going to listen to like celebrities getting interviewed. But anytime he has done any publicity on this movie, I've listened to it because he's fantastic. And that's another thing with Neon, which did this, and Long Legs, and it's just knocking it out of the park with horror right now. They he would do these interviews and he would say he wanted it to feel like a cartoon. So these kills were so over the top, it was like a Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner skit, and it really was. So I also kind of knew that going in too. So that kind of let me know what I was getting into. The bus of cheerleaders was fantastic. That's at the very end when shit's just hitting the fan. There's also a woman pushing a buggy, baby carriage that was on fire. My favorite kill of the whole thing was, what was her first name? Sarah Levy? Yeah. She, her kill's insane. But what I loved about it the most is later when they're back in that house and he's standing in the living room and he shot at an angle, like going up, you can see the burn marks where she ran through the living room with her head on fire. I'm like, that would be there. Like, that's just such a little detail that he has done in his movies that I absolutely love. The ad campaign was nuts. They sent trailers to network. They was just like said, no, there's no way we can air this. We can't do that. They had a billboard with things that people were saying. They had a billboard saying we're not allowed to put a billboard here because of the violence. Everybody dies. Blah 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 blah. Like they were genius with that. But it also was one of those situations where the hype didn't quite get me there where I thought I should be. We've had this before. It was the dumbass hand movie. Talk to me. That was hyped so much, so we were excited to watch it. Then when we did, we kind of felt let down. Now, was I let down? No. But for some reason, that ad campaign just wanted it to be a little bit more for me. But it is zany. It's over the top. Like, but I know what Kellen likes. I know what you like. And you know, because we're very similar with our styles. Like, you like Rubber, you know, like these obscure, weird movies where you haven't seen Night of the Living Dead until recently, but you've seen Rubber. You asked us to put Rubber into our movie bucket. You know, like I TJ might have. You know, I don't know if he's seen it or not, but a lot of people don't know what that movie is, and I've seen it kind of resurfacing recently on Facebook. So it's like, you've never seen a movie this outrageous, and it's just a hit the tire with the row, like the long shot. Like, it's such a fun movie. It's just so over top. This is the same
And
thing.
I've suggested that to people. I've suggested people watch Rubber.
They might not be in your life any longer after that. But that's one of those things. Like, I'm not gonna go downstairs like, hey, let's watch Rubber tonight. Like, it's not happening. And like, it's a recipe for disaster. It's a very niche thing, I think. But this is just a big bloody cartoon from not quite start to finish, but you kind of get that feeling. And I wonder if they didn't quite know what tone they really truly wanted to go. Like, do we want to do it like play it straight or play it, not? But overall,
I think with the tendency for horror movies nowadays to try to be like gory for gore's sake, I think horror comedy helped this because they could be over the top gory in some scenes without it feeling like it was gore for gore's sake. Like, this was almost gore for comedic effect.
Like that's what I said. Like, making the cartoon, like a cartoon effect, like a
it was like if Looney Tunes was real, and instead of coming back to life, they actually died.
They're not real. Anyways, Theo James did do a good job, but I seriously hated his character with a burning passion on White Lotus. But anyways, we'll wrap up. As we said, TJ has left the building. The weirdos are in charge of the asylum. He gave a rating of 3.5, which is kind of what I assumed we would all be at. We'll see. Kellen?
I mean, this is straight 5 territory from no. No, it has its fault, but I think it also has its charm. 3.5 is absolutely where I was putting this. I was leaning more towards the 4 side than the 3 side, just because it's fun, and this is something I will watch again when it comes out. When it's on streaming, I'll absolutely sit down and watch this again, just for the laughs and the absurdity of everything, and because, again, I adore Sarah Levy.
Yeah, she was great, and Elijah was great too. So I don't like math, so I'm going to do a 3.5 as well. So that gives us a 3.5 for the monkey. I think maybe the advertisement part is, in my hype, is maybe what it could have been a 4 for me, because you guys know me. I love everything. Also, I was going to say, I wonder if Ian and Shannon, when you get to this part of this episode, which one of you bet on Kellen to like this movie? Which one of you bet on Kellen to hate this movie? Let us know your results in the comments below.
And here's another thing I think that benefits me is I try, when there's something I want to see, I try to avoid every piece of material about it. I might watch the initial trailer, and then everything else after that, I avoid like the plague. I will stay off of social media until I'm able to watch it. So I had no idea. Like I said, the only benefit of you talking about it beforehand was letting me know, hey, by the way, this is a horror comedy. Which, like I said, helped my enjoyment of it, because I knew what to expect going in as far as the tone. But yeah, I think I didn't know about the billboards and anything, so I just went in with fresh eyes and an open heart, and I loved it.
Can't lose. I think that maybe part of that why it trails off with, you said the audience score was the lower of the two.
Yeah,
because that tonal shift it has, and how they don't really know how to read it. It's because people that are going to see that, they're not us, right? Like, they're not people who do podcasts for fun about horror movies and watch movies, and there's people seeing that horror movie for the first time ever, so it could play a little oddly for them. I would get that, but get over it, nerds. All right, that's it for this episode. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to wherever you're listening to this podcast. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok. We have an Amazon Music playlist. We have a group on Facebook, although it's really just me, John, and TJ posting all the time, so I might delete that. I'm not sure. I have the power. All right, and come back next week. We will be with TJ again. Who's going to say keep it spooky this time? All right. Anyway, sign off. I'm Jay with only Kellen. And until next time.
Spootich. Ah, no, I messed it up.
Damn it.
Keep it spooky.
I knew I couldn't trust you, you son of a bitch.
Spooky keepy. How do we stop the recording?
He's gonna stop it. He's gonna come back and stop it. What's funny is I posted on the Weirdos page today. I'm like, miss you. If you miss us, come follow our. And then we reference Weirdos here. We had a podcast before, everyone. It's called Weirdos. It was pretty awesome.
Did you see my face being red and splotchy?
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything
when we first started recording. So I was like, I found my flask on my desk and I forgot about it. And I was like, little nip of the old sauce right there. And between episodes, it took me a little swig, and then I sat down and I was like, oh no. So I'm not dying that I'm aware of, and I don't think it's an allergic reaction. I think I just got hot. So if you recognize that,
buzz.
Spoilers. I'm an alcoholic. No, I'm kidding. I'm not.
Is he though? It's just like me taking that brownie that I think was going to affect me as quick as it did. Because seriously, like it's 300 milligrams. I took half at like 6:30.
Still so many milligrams.
Yeah. I didn't feel anything until like after 10 or 11, and I got up to go to the bathroom, and I'm like, oh shit. So I'm like, that's ridiculous. And even on the back, it says wait 4 hours before consuming more. I'm like, 4 hours? Who's got time for that shit? So, but I didn't feel anything. So it was getting stale. I was like, I have one more left. I was okay, we're recording tonight. I'm just going to take it. By the time we're done, I'll start feeling it. Nope. 40 minutes into that motherfucker, I felt it.
It had time to ferment.
Insane.
That's the only problem with the gummies, and I guess it's because people make them. They're not like regulated as far as how they're made. So you buy them from like Dr. Hoo-Ha's gummy patch, and there's not enough consistency. Like I don't know if you've ever had this, but you'll eat one gummy and you're like, I don't really feel it, and you eat one, you're like, I'm so high right now.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Like I was telling Lindsay, I'm like, and just like that brownie, it might have been when it was made. Maybe for some reason, the good stuff it drifted to one side. It got all droopy. I don't know. I mean, that has to be it, especially with the gummies and they're just making in trays. I'm sure there's some inconsistency with what's where, but yeah, that's not fun because then it makes me mad. And I don't want to buy it again. Then I take it out. I'm like, oh shit.
I don't know what to expect. Talk about the popcorn bucket, and then we'll just call it a night.
Float
when
away.
I was waiting in line, I saw the popcorn buckets that they had at Regal Streets of Indian Lake in Hendersonville, and they had the Red Hulk, they had the Captain America shield, they had the Moana boat, with the wings. They had the Moana boat, and they had Pride Rock from Mufasa. And my issue was that Moana boat didn't even hold a child-size popcorn. So if I'm paying $40 for a quote-unquote popcorn bucket, you better give me also a bucket of popcorn to sit beside it, because I'm not getting 3 bites of popcorn for $40 so that I can have Moana's Wind Rider.
But you can play with it when you take Tubbies.
We've come full circle. Oh, Mark Duplass, please come on our podcast.
He's so cool. You've seen the preview for his new show where he's the little dwarf girl that might not have been a dwarf girl that got adopted.
No.
The Curious Case of Natalia Grace.
Is that the one? Wasn't there a movie?
I'm sure there was. I think Orphan was loosely based on
Orphan? Okay, yeah.
But anyways, they're doing a show of it now, and Mark Duplass plays the dad.
He's fantastic in everything I've seen him in. He was great in The League, Creep 2, the Creep tapes, all fantastic.
Safety Not Guaranteed. That's when you need to watch The League.
Yeah, if you've never seen The League, that is just full of fantastic cast members. That whole thing. It's like it's kind of like a toned down version of Always Sunny, except when Rafi shows up, and then that's what I always call him, Rafi. Except when he shows up and then he brings a certain level to it.
All I want to call him now is Derek from A Quiet Place, The Good Place. You've seen that?
Yeah.
Have you finished it?
Yeah.
Okay, we have not. So we just started the last season.
Okay, so you got to the beach
He's
scene.
Got the tuxedo and he's got like a bottle or a glass of olives. He's like,
And his junk's been replaced with wind chimes.
yes.
Have you seen the part where they've got the button on the beach and they can get rid of him by pushing the button? And he's like, yeah, just push the button. No, God, please don't push the button. I don't want to die. No, I'm just messing with you. You go ahead and push the button. Please, God, don't push the button.
He's programmed that way.
I laughed. I laughed so hard at that scene.
It is.
Good Places, fantastic TV. 4.5 stars. Great show.
All right.
Fork and shirt balls.
I'm going to go eat dinner at freaking 8:26.
I'm going to go have some leftover Publix wings.
Publix
wings, yeah.
I just heard Publix, so you like found them in a park on a bench or something. Like, off into
I
the
fought a
forest.
homeless guy in Midtown for a box of half-eaten wings.
Oh, good. Okay. But I guess we can't really. I guess I can exit. Suck it, TJ. If you made it this far, you son of a gun.